There's a special kind of silence that settles over Willowbrook Estates right before an HOA Karen decides your life is her personal playground. The kind where every lawn is clipped to military precision, every mailbox screams, "Approved beige," and every neighbor smiles while secretly praying the next citation isn't theirs. I'd only been back in my house 3 weeks after the city chewed me up and spit me out, the corporate burnout finally washing away with every sip of coffee on my own porch, when the first whine of the coming disaster rolled in. Not thunder, but the electric purr of a golf cart that cost more than my first car. My Rottweiler Tank, 130 pounds of gentle giant, who only looked like he could eat small children, was sprawled beside me, tail thumping lazily against the wood. I thought I'd left the drama behind. 2 years earlier, the same HOA had painted me as the messy neighbor after I dared question a $250 fine for leaving Christmas lights up 4 days past the arbitrary deadline. Suddenly, community chats lit up. Ryan Kessler lowers property values. Ryan Kessler is anti-harmony. Ryan Kessler probably kicks puppies. People stopped waving. I kept my mouth shut, mowed that grass to exactly 2.5 inches, and waited. Patience, I'd learned, is the ultimate middle finger. But today patience was about to meet its match. Victoria Lang, President Vicky to her pearl-clutching followers, glided up my driveway in her signature pastel suit, clipboard gleaming like Excalibur. She didn't knock. She marched straight to my side gate like she owned the deed. "Mr. Kessler," she sang in that honey-dipped voice that could give diabetes, "we've received a formal complaint regarding an unpermitted outbuilding in your rear yard. As HOA president, I'm exercising my authority under Section 4.2 of the covenants to conduct an immediate compliance inspection." I set my coffee down slowly. "Mrs. Lang, that's my photography darkroom shed. It's completely inside my property line. You have no jurisdiction here, and you know it." She waved a laminated badge like it was the nuclear football. A concerned citizen reported possible structural issues that could affect community aesthetics. "I have every right." "Concerned citizen, my ass," I muttered, but she was already unlatching the gate. Tank lifted his massive head, ears perked. I stepped forward. "Victoria, stop. Tank is loose in the yard today. He doesn't like strangers. Seriously, do not go back there." She actually laughed, a tinkling sound that made my teeth itch. "Oh, please, Mr. Kessler. I'm not afraid of a little dog. This is official HOA business." She pushed the gate wide and strutted in like a runway model, heels clicking on my pavers. Tank rose to his full height, a low rumble starting in his chest. Vicky didn't even glance back. She headed straight for the shed door, the one I'd left cracked because I'd been developing film earlier. I watched her yank it open. This is clearly unapproved. The color doesn't match the palette. That's when I moved. Not fast, not angry, just calm. I walked to the gate, swung it shut, and slid the heavy padlock through the hasp with a satisfying click. Tank's rumble turned into a single deep woof that rattled the fence. Vicky's head snapped around inside the shed. "What are you doing? Open this gate immediately." I leaned against the fence, arms crossed, voice low. "You trespassed after I warned you. Now you can stay in there and think about community aesthetics while Tank keeps you company." He's very thorough. From inside came the sound of expensive heels scrambling, a feed bucket clanging, and then Vicky's voice cracking like cheap porcelain. "There's a monster in here. It's huge. Let me out right now, or I'll have you arrested." Tank wasn't attacking. He was just standing there, head low, doing that protective Rottweiler stare that says, "I could, but I'm being polite." Vicky's screams climbed an octave. "He's going to kill me. Help. Someone call the police." I pulled out my phone, hit record, and spoke loud enough for the mic. Victoria Lang, HOA president, entered my private backyard against explicit warning. She is now inside my shed with my dog. I am securing my property. Smile for the camera, Vicky. Her pearl necklace rattled against the shed door like a rattlesnake. Perfect. Within 20 minutes the cavalry arrived. Not knights, but 3 minivans plastered with Willowbrook HOA oversight magnets. Out poured the usual suspects, board members clutching lattes, plus Vicky's husband in his golf polo looking ready to sue the universe. Leading the charge was Deputy Ramirez, who already looked exhausted, and it wasn't even noon. "Mr. Kessler," he sighed, "open the gate." We got a call about unlawful imprisonment. I held up my phone. Deputy, she trespassed. Ignored 3 verbal warnings. Walked straight into the shed with my dog after I told her not to. I simply locked my own gate. Check the video. Vicky's muffled shrieks still echoed from the shed. Tank gave one more polite woof for emphasis. The deputy pinched the bridge of his nose. Ma'am, are you injured? Yes. Get this beast away from me. He unlocked the gate. Vicky exploded out like a pastel tornado, hair wild, mascara running in artistic streaks, one heel missing. She pointed a trembling finger at me. Arrest him. He tried to murder me with that rabid dog. I demand charges, aggravated assault, emotional distress, the works. Deputy Ramirez looked at Tank, who was now sitting politely, tail thumping like a good boy who just did his job. Ma'am, that dog looks calmer than you do. That's when the real show started. Victoria wasn't done. 2 days later, my mailbox, painted the mandatory taupe harmony, mind you, was stuffed with official HOA paperwork. Demand for reinspection, accompanied by legal counsel. Refusal will result in daily fines of $500 until compliance. Attached was a photo of Vicky's torn pantyhose labeled evidence of vicious animal attack. I almost laughed until I walked the fence line that evening and found 3 strands of wire neatly snipped near the back corner. Fresh footprints in the soft dirt. No dog prints. Human. Someone had opened my back gate just enough for Tank to potentially wander into the street. I documented everything. New trail cams went up overnight. 4 of them. 4K, motion-activated, audio. Signs followed. Private property. 24/7 video and audio surveillance. Violators prosecuted. I planted them like victory flags. The community chat exploded anyway. Vicky's version spread like cheap perfume. Ryan Kessler locked me in a shed with a dangerous dog. He's unhinged. Protect your families. Old neighbors who'd once smiled now side-eyed my house. I stayed silent, sipping coffee on the porch while Tank snoozed at my feet. Let them talk. Cameras don't lie. The reinspection day arrived brighter than Vicky's fake smile. At precisely 10 a.m., a convoy rolled up, 4 cars, one carrying a smug young lawyer in a suit that screamed first-year associate. And to my genuine surprise, Sarah Patel from the Willowbrook Gazette with a professional camera. Vicky led the pack, body cam strapped to her chest like she was filming a documentary titled, How I Will Destroy Ryan Kessler. Her lawyer, Julian something, stepped forward. Mr. Kessler, we are here pursuant to our formal notice to conduct a lawful reinspection of the unpermitted structure. Any resistance will be noted. I leaned on my gate, voice calm. Julian, that notice means nothing. Judge Whitaker already ruled last year your HOA has 0 jurisdiction over backyard sheds on private lots. But hey, since you brought the press, let's give them a show. Vicky sniffed. We have reasonable suspicion of ongoing violations. Reasonable suspicion based on the woman who trespassed and then cried wolf. I held up a USB drive. Before anyone steps one designer loafer on my property, you might want to see what actually happened that day. Full, unedited, for cameras. The lawyer hesitated. Sarah Patel's eyes lit up. I'd love context for my article. Vicky's smile faltered for the first time. This is unnecessary. No, Vicky, I said, plugging the drive into the lawyer's laptop right there on my driveway. This is necessary. The footage rolled. Crystal clear. Vicky waving her badge, ignoring my 3 warnings, pushing open the shed door. Tank simply standing up from his nap, ears forward, curious. No charge, no bite, just one low warning growl. Then Vicky's scream, her camera dropping, her panic scrambling while Tank stood there like a disappointed bouncer. 10 full minutes of her shrieking, he's attacking me, while the dog did nothing but watch. The final angle showed me calmly locking the gate from outside, voice steady. You trespassed after I warned you. Dead silence. Julian's jaw actually unhinged. One board member whispered, Victoria, this isn't what you told the group. Sarah Patel's camera clicked nonstop. Vicky's face cycled through every shade of humiliation known to man. She tried to recover. That video is doctored. He provoked the dog. I just smiled. 4 independent cameras, time-stamped, geotagged. Good luck in court. The convoy left faster than they came. Vicky's golf cart peeled out so hard it left rubber on my driveway. But the real storm was just starting. 48 hours later, Sarah Patel's article hit the Willowbrook Gazette website with the headline, HOA President's Backyard Blunder Caught on Camera. The still frame of Vicky mid-scream went viral locally within hours. Comments poured in. This is why I left my last neighborhood. Tank for HOA president. Even the town's Facebook group, usually a war zone of passive-aggressive plant watering complaints, turned on her. Vicky doubled down the only way she knew how. Her personal lawyer sent a thick envelope, settlement demand for emotional trauma, defamation, loss of professional standing, $75,000, or we go to court. I read it on the porch while Tank rested his massive head on my knee. Then I opened the binder I'd spent 3 nights preparing. Every video file, every time-stamped photo of the cut fence, casts of the footprints that matched Vicky's husband's size 12 golf shoes, notarized statements, and a copy of Judge Whitaker's previous ruling with a bright yellow sticky note. Try me. I invited the lawyer for iced tea. He arrived in a Mercedes that probably cost more than my house. After 10 minutes of reviewing my binder, his smooth confidence cracked. Mr. Kessler, this vandalism angle. That's a criminal matter. Yep, I said. And if your client wants to drag this into open court where every neighbor sees the full video, I'm happy to oblige. Might even live stream it. Ratings gold. He left without finishing his tea. A week later, the internal HOA bloodbath began. Anonymous sources, okay, Sarah Patel's sources, reported emergency board meetings. Vicky was reassigned from active enforcement to community liaison. HOA speak for, we're benching you before you cost us more lawsuits. The new bulletin on the community website was a masterpiece of corporate backpedaling. We apologize for any recent misunderstandings regarding property boundaries and reaffirm our commitment to respectful dialogue. No personal apology. But when I drove past Vicky's McMansion the next weekend, her president sign was gone from the lawn. Just a for sale sign. Poetic. Life in Willowbrook Estates settled back into its beige rhythm, but something had shifted. Neighbors who used to cross the street now waved. One even brought Tank a giant bone for his service. The darkroom shed still stands, painted the exact HOA-approved taupe, because why not twist the knife? And every evening Tank and I sit on the porch, watching fireflies dance over lawns that are finally, truly, none of the HOA's damn business. So here's the question that keeps me up at night, and maybe you too. When the HOA Karen breaks every rule in the book while screaming about rules, who's really the criminal? The guy who locked his own gate, or the woman who thought her clipboard gave her the right to invade your life? You decide. But next time one shows up at your fence, maybe keep a big dog and a better camera ready. Justice has teeth.